Silence in my courtroom. Order in my court. I actually don't know what they say. What do the judges say when they want like people to shut the fuck up in their courtroom? Hey yo, what's good, gang, man? Welcome back to another anime discussion video. Today we got Madara Uchiha versus Eren Yeager. Again, like, people really been ganging up on Eren in these anime discussions where they're like two anime characters discussing their morals and the motivations behind why they're doing what they do in their specific series. And they've really been putting Eren on blast here, bro. Because last time we did Itachi versus Eren, and today we're doing Madara versus Eren. And I can see already now the next video is probably gonna be Naruto versus Eren. So hey, bro, man, Eren's really been in the lab cooking up all of his arguments, got them all ready now, I think. But this one is really interesting because Madara, of course, is also one of my favorite anime characters, at least from Naruto. And also, to be honest, overall, bro, like, he's probably the anime villain I like sympathize the most with, besides Eren, of course. Eren is definitely the anime villain I sympathize with the most. They both experienced like kind of being rejected and oppressed by their respectable anime worlds. Right now, I'm mostly interested in hearing Madara's arguments for why his path is the more righteous one. Cause that nigga be talking. If you know about that, he be spitting sometimes, bro. I can't even lie. But again, would I say they are two sides of the same coin? I don't know. I guess Madara was like, he had a plan of world domination, you could say, where Eren had a plan of world destruction. They were both getting their hands dirty. Like, let's be real here. They are much more alike than Itachi and Eren were. I'm really interested in hearing their respectable arguments in this case. Let the courtroom begin. Okay, before getting into this, I think I would see Madara as more of like a mature Eren Yeager. I would say Madara is also a crash out, but in a more calculated way, you could say. I don't know. I think his demeanor is just giving more mature than Eren's. Otherwise, they got the same motives. Kind of. In my opinion, Madara is just a more mature version of Eren Yeager. Of course, it's not as simple as that, but if I had to sum it up in like a sentence, I would say that. Alright, let's get it. And I can see Madara starting off this discussion here, bro. So I better listen up because this nigga be talking, bro. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it. He be spitting.
You speak of freedom, but what you truly crave is revenge. You burn the world not to liberate it, but to punish it for wounding you. That isn't justice, Eren. That's ego draped in ideology.
You already talking, bro. He already spit. Ego draped in ideology, bro. What? I've never thought about it that way. But Madara, not gonna hold you, bro. You want the world to burn too, not gonna lie. You dropped 2 meteors on niggas. What are you talking about? Like, bro, you ran in to catch the fate with 100,000 niggas, bro. Not even just niggas. They were all trained ninjas. I don't know, bro. That sounds like a nigga who wanna see the world burn to me. Let's see what Eren has to say.
You covered fear with vision. You couldn't change reality, so you rewrote it. Forced it into submission. That's not peace, Madara. That's surrender on a planetary scale.
I see where you're coming from, Eren. I see where you're coming from, Eren. But for real, though, calling him Madara is insane. That's more disrespectful than not agreeing to his vision. So because you want to change the world or force it into submission, that's seen as more of like a not a coward's way out, but more the fact that you want to change the world that way is seen as you surrendering to that world. Damn, that's actually interesting, bro. I never thought about it that way. I wouldn't say the infinite Tsukumi is like a dirty tactic, but it's unfair, to be honest. Like, you shine your Rinnegan at the moon and people get caught in a genjutsu like all over the world. There's no defense against it. So not giving the world an option to fight back, is that seen as like you surrendering to that world because you are admitting to like, okay, the world is so unfair, I can't do anything about it if I had to do it with my own hands? Honestly, I think that's what he's trying to say, and it's actually a really good argument, bro. It's actually a really good argument. Sorry, I got lost in that. Let's see what Madara has to say in his defense.
That's surrender on a planetary scale.
Humanity is inherently flawed. Left alone, they devour each other.
Facts.
I offered them salvation from themselves.
Oh, bro.
You tore down the walls, only to become another one.
At least I didn't sell them a...
Oh. You tore down the walls just to become another one? Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. If you don't know Attack on Titan, the whole premise of the first half of the story is like them being isolated in these 3 walls. Yeah, I think it's 3 walls. And them wanting to see what's outside of that wall, of those walls. They ended up discovering what's beyond those walls, only to find a world that hates them even more. The thing about it is, honestly, low key, the thing about it is, I would say that thing he said about like, I saved them from themselves. Bro, that's just your god complex talking. If I've lived the life of Madara, I'm not gonna lie, bro, I would probably have a god complex myself, bro. He told the 5 Kages, do you want my clones to use Susanoo? Or not? Bro, it was cold. It would shake me to my core being Madara and be like, yo, I can literally do whatever I want to do, but still I can't change the world. Like, I'm literally the strongest nigga around besides this Hashirama nigga who is literally immortal. But I still can't change the world. Like, that would shake me to my core as well. So I understand why he sees the infinite Tsukiyomi as the only way out. He became a wall himself. That's insane.
Become another one.
At least I didn't sell them a lie. You manipulated the world into silence because you lacked the strength to let it scream.
Oh my god. Shit. That's insane, bro.
You didn't lead. You caged.
Bro, man. The whole plot of Naruto is basically just setting up to do the whole infinite Tsukiyomi, so it's a crazy level of planning. But having to go to such extremes, I guess you could say, bro, the world actually won in this case. It's kind of like a really deep argument between, should you just let the world do what it does? Sometimes the world just destroys people, not gonna hold you. Like, people honestly just end up in crazy situations where they can't really fend for themselves or change their trajectory, what do you call it? Change their destinies and stuff like that. Should you just let the world do what it does? Accept the world as it is, or are you gonna do whatever you can in your power to change it? I guess the right answer to that is like, you should do whatever you can in your power to change your situation, and just hope that you impact as many people as you can on your way. I think that's the right answer to that question, actually.
And you unleashed chaos with no plan beyond destruction. You mistake bloodshed for clarity, genocide for evolution. In your quest to be free, you became a force no different than those you swore to destroy.
Maybe.
I'm not gonna hold you, Madara. That was kind of like a low-hanging fruit there, becoming the same as the people who oppressed you, blah, 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 blah. Of course, it makes sense, but it's like, come on, dog. Like, you honestly gotta deal the cards you were dealt. So if fighting fire with fire is the only option you got right there, hey, I would say do it. I would say, Madara, you also mistook bloodshed for clarity, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. You were kind of wilding out back in your day. I don't know, Madara. I don't know. That one, I think you need to get back to the lab and cook a little bit more on that one.
Maybe. But at least I moved. You froze the world in a dream because you couldn't stomach its imperfection. You didn't fix anything. You paused the pain and called yourself a god for it.
Then let the world rot in your idea of freedom.
That's what
But
I said.
understand this. History will not remember you as a savior. Only as a symptom. A violent spasm in the body of a dying era.
And you call me blind, but you still dream of peace through domination. You're just another tyrant in love with control. I'll end the world before I ever kneel to it.
I don't think Eren's whole thing is to be remembered as a savior. I don't think he cares about pride like that at all. Honestly, just want his friends to live their lives, to live the lives they deserve. That last statement there, Eren, was kind of crazy. that was kind of crazy, but I understand him, bro. I understand him. I expected more of Madara in this argument or this debate. I think they were more focused on his final mission. I just feel like they didn't grasp his whole character leading up to discovering, oh, I can actually change the whole world by casting a genjutsu. It would have been better if they actually dove a bit into his past, I guess you could say, like, oh, I've had siblings, I've tried going the peaceful route, like something like that. Like if they just focused a little bit more on that, it would have been perfect. They still both had very good points. I think the one with Itachi was more focused on the individual, whereas this was more like I don't know how to explain it, bro. But I just think Itachi had such good arguments for his case. Madara's arguments were good, but They were more like, I know what's best for the world kind of stuff. Whereas Itachi was more like, I don't know if what I'm doing is for the best, but like, I'm not gonna put my suffering before the world's. Like, something like that. I don't know if that even makes sense. That was Eren Yeager versus Madara Uchiha, an anime character moral debate. Who do you relate more to, and who do you think won this debate? Madara or Eren? I would like to know all of that in the comments, man. Let me know whose points you agree with more. I'm actually interested to know that, because I'm leaning more towards Eren on this one, even though I like Madara more as a character. I agree more with Madara's methods. Like, only thinking of this argument we just watched, or this discussion we just watched, I would say Eren was the one who sounded more reasonable, I guess you could say, even though he's genocide. I would never get behind that, but he's just, something in his speech was just more convincing, I guess you could say. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. As always, remember to stay beautiful. Alright, much love, gang. Peace.